Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. It's your computer science class and I'm your computer science teacher Asmadari. Dear students, today we are going to start chapter number 1, Fundamentals of Computer. Our today's topic is generations of computer. What are the generations of computer? These are characterized by major technological developments of that time, and there are basically 5 generations of computer. In our today's lesson, we are going to discuss each generation and we are going to see and compare their major technological developments. So let's start. There are 5 generations of computers, and we will discuss all these generations one by one. So we'll start with the first generation computer. The time period for the first generation computer was 1940 to 1956, and vacuum tubes were used in this generation. And vacuum tubes is a device that produce so much heat, and air condition was used to cool down. Vacuum tubes burnt out very often, and it was difficult to repair and maintain. The computer in the first generation computer. Here are some characteristics of the first generation computer that they used. The tubes, their speed was very slow and memory was very small. They were very huge in size that they take up entire room. They were very expensive and unreliable. Expensive because vacuum tubes were used in that generation, and they were unreliable because the device that was the vacuum tubes that was being used in first generation of the computer, this was also unreliable. They consumed a lot of power and generated a lot of heat, and input was based on the punch cards and output was obtained through electric typewriter in the printed form. And the language that was used in the first generation computer was machine language. Example of first generation computers are ENIAC, UNIVAC 1, IBM 604, Mark 1 and EDSEC. You can see on the screen the picture of the first generation computer along with the vacuum tube. The vacuum tube is on the left side while the picture of the first generation computer is on the right side. Now we will discuss the second generation of computer. The time period for the second generation of the computer was 1956 to 1963. In 1947, the three scientists William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain invented transistors, and the transistor functioned like a vacuum tube. It replaced the vacuum tubes in the second generation computers. Transistor was faster, more reliable, smaller, and much more cheaper than the vacuum tube. Now we will discuss the characteristics of the second generation computer. Transistor was used instead of vacuum tubes. Transistor reduced the size of the computer and increased the speed and memory capacity. Computers became more reliable and cheaper as the transistor was reliable as compared to the vacuum tubes. And the second generation computer used punch card readers, magnetic tape, magnetic disk, and printers as input-output devices. And the language used in the second generation computer was assembly language, and the other languages that was introduced in this generation were high level languages, Fortran, COBOL, etc. Examples of second generation computers are UNIVAC 2, IBM 7030, 7780 and 7090, and CR300 series. You can see the picture of transistor and second generation of computer on your screen. The next is the third generation of the computer, and the time period for the third generation of the computer was 1940 to 1956. And when we talk about the third generation computer, IC chips were used instead of transistors in vacuum tubes. And what are the IC chips? These are also known as semiconductor chips, and they were used in the third generation of computer instead of transistors, and they were developed in early 1960. A single IC chip contains a large number of transistors. You can say that a single IC chip is made up of a lot of transistors, a large number of transistors. IC chips increase the power and decrease the cost of the computers, and invention of IC chips were great breakthrough in advancing computer technologies. Now we will discuss some characteristics of third generation of computer. Some specific characteristics of third generation of computer are that IC chips were used in this generation. IC chips improved the speed and memory of the computers. Computers consumed less electricity, became smaller, cheaper, and more reliable than the second generation of computer. And the keyboard and monitor were used with the computer in the third generation, and these computer could run different application program at the same time. Okay, multi-programming phenomena was introduced in the third generation of the computers. Some examples of third generation of computer are Baroque 6700, IBM System 360, System 3, and Control Data Corporation 3300 and 6600 computers. You can see you can see on the screen there are IC chips and third generation computers. The next generation of the computer is the fourth generation of the computer. That is the generation of the computer that is being used in the microcomputers or in today's computer. In this generation of computer, large scale integration and very large scale integration chips have millions of transistors were developed, and the microprocessor was developed in fourth generation of computer. What is a microprocessor, or how can you define a microprocessor? A microprocessor is a single chip that can handle all the processing of a computer. Now we will see some characteristics of the fourth generation of computer. Microprocessor was developed, which resulted in the development of microcomputers. Fourth generation computers are very fast, have large storage capacity, and use advanced input output devices. Microcomputers are very small in size, very reliable, they consume less power, and they are affordable. Large variety of software is available for the microcomputers. Operating system have graphical user interface. As you know that Windows is used in the fourth generation of the computers or the microcomputers that we are using today, and the Windows is a graphical user interface as it is based on the graphics. Like you can see that the Windows is used with the help of icons, menus, etc. Okay, and these computers support multimedia software that combines text, images, sound, and video. And they support modern programming languages such as Visual Basic, C++, Java, Python for developing powerful software. Fourth generation of computers support a large variety of portable and wireless input output devices. And the examples of microprocessor developed in fourth generation of computers are Intel Pentium series, dual core, core i3, i5, i7, and AMD Athlon. These are the examples of microprocessor that are developed in fourth generation computer. When we talk about the examples of fourth generation computers, so they are IBM ThinkPad series, HP Pavilion series, Dell Inspiron series, and Apple's MacBook Pro and MacBook Air series. So you can see the microprocessor and a fourth generation computer or a microcomputer that is being used today everywhere. Okay, now we'll discuss the fifth generation of computer. The fifth generation of the computer is to develop devices that can understand natural languages and have thinking power. Dear students, as you know that the computer was based basically on the idea of developing a machine like human brain, and the scientists are still working on it. And the fifth generation computer is also effort to make a computer that could understand natural languages and have thinking power like human beings. This is a big challenge for computer developers and programmers to design such system and software for them. The following are some characteristics of the fifth generation computer, that they are based on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a type of intelligence that is made by the human beings. Okay, in the fifth generation computer, artificial intelligence will minimize the need to write a program. There will be no need to write complex programs to perform some specific task. We will just give instructions to the computer and they will perform the specific task. Okay, in the fifth generation of computer, artificial intelligence will minimize the need to write the programs, and the computer allow the user to give commands in any natural languages such as English. Examples of fifth generation computers are robots and expert system. I hope everything is clear now and all the fifth generations and their characteristics have been discussed. Wish you best of luck student. Thank you so much.